G'day guys, it's Phantom, and today I'm going to be talking about two albums that I've listened to this weekend, that being Drake and 21 Savage's Her Loss and the Wakanda Forever soundtrack. Two albums that I have quite enjoyed. First, I'm going to talk about Her Loss. This album is a huge improvement to Drake's previous work. His last two albums have been a bit of kind of stinkers, but this is a huge improvement. His last decent album since the Dark Lanes mixtape, which I did enjoy. Well, there were some songs that are really good, but there was some like trash ass songs. But I do like that album more than most people. But this album is a huge improvement. It brings on 21 Savage, who is one of my favorite rappers. Definitely way better than Drake, in my opinion. Not as good as Travis Scott, which is a feature. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's the only feature on this album. So, yes. What kind of put me off with the collab album, as I listened through it, it kind of just was like a Drake album with 21 featuring on all of them. There is a few tracks with just Drake, and there's one track with just 21, which was a bit of a shame because I wanted 21 to do way more stuff by himself. But I think that he carried the album. Let's go to track by track and give my thoughts on them. Rich Flex was kind of weird at first, but I think it's a bop. Drake kind of, I don't know, he's having like weird conversation with 21. He's like, hey, can you do something for me? Can you hit that Rich Flex here for me? And I'm like, what are you doing? And then 21 is in the background. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, 21. Yeah. Then we go to Major Distribution, which is one of my favorite tracks. That part with him singing in the start was kind of nice, kind of classic Drake singing verse, and then we get that unexpected beat switch, which Drake this murders the beat on. Absolutely great, and then 21 of course tops it. Great song. On BS is another really good song. 21 carries the song on 100%. They go to back Outside Boys, which was kind of alright. It was a Drake solo song, but it was decent. Privileged Rappers as well was another pretty decent track. Spin About You is probably one of the weaker songs. Wasn't too crazy. Hours in Silence was 6 minutes and 40 seconds, which was kind of off-putting because this song is slow, and the title of the song literally is what it feels like in because this song is pretty like quiet. Yeah. Treacherous Twins were kind of another basic song. Circo Loco was a great song, a great sample, but unfortunately Drake had to ruin it by singing the sample, which I think that he should stop doing because Staying Alive, it was terrible. He he was better with this sample, but I need him to stop singing the samples. It's not cool. But the beat is really good. The sample as well. I love that song. Track 10 with Travis Scott. Travis did his thing. He went hard on it. The lyrics are kind of repetitive, but it is still one of my favorites on this album. Break Boys is repetitive. Middle of the Ocean with Drake, 6 minutes, and it was boring. Jumbotron is poppin', with Drake, basic. More M's is another really good song. I did like that one. And 3 a.m. on Glenwood, Drake bringing 21 on the AM PM series, which he absolutely did his thing. It is probably the best track, the best written track. It's not a bop, but it is a really a well performed and written song. And the last track is basic again. Overall, this album is pretty generic. It's definitely his better album from his last few releases. Drake dropping 2 albums this year. This is definitely his better one. I'm not gonna say any more. The production is great on every song. The lyrics are kind of cringe, but 21 does have some funny lines, as it always does. But yeah, this is definitely worth listening to. And then we go into the Wakanda Forever soundtrack, which I believe this is one of the better soundtracks from Marvel. It perfectly represents the culture, with most of the songs being in their own language, which I did appreciate. But Lift Me Up and No Woman No Cry still is it for me. As you know, being in the English language, of course, it's going to be stick with me more because that's my language. But I did extremely appreciate them being in their own language. The thing is with the first Black Panther soundtrack is that it was all American music with the black culture, with it tying with the movie being, you know, the Wakanda culture going into dealing with like American stuff, which was like one of the main plots, and that soundtrack was pretty much like an album. It was a soundtrack, but it was mainly like an album, because obviously not all the songs featured in the thing, but this one, though, is, I believe, a proper soundtrack. I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm going to this weekend. But I believe that this is a perfect soundtrack for the movie. With each song, it is tying with the culture. The movie is solely based on culture. And the legacy of Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P. Yeah, I did appreciate this album so much. I was expecting a little bit more, but you know, that's just because I wanted some new music that I could put on my playlist. Obviously, I'm not going to put on my playlist because it's not my, my flow. But Thames and Rihanna did their thing. Same with everybody. Stormzy and Future were also on the album, which they both did their thing. Yeah, this is a great soundtrack. I can't wait to see how it fits into the movie. My opinions might change, but this is my initial thoughts, and yeah. Anyways, that was my reviews on the two. Tomorrow I'm going to probably do 3 reviews in one video. But yes. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one, and have a good one.